what he has told me an appetite, heat, cold. That is the same thing I was feeling.
Is it COVID?
I don't know.
It's COVID, man.
I don't think I have COVID. It's just a flu, guys.
But
it's a cold
COVID for us
season
is
in
just a
Nairobi,
flu.
please.
That's true for Africans.
For
COVID,
Africans,
COVID
it's
is just a flu.
Exactly.
I don't think it's like a big
It's not a
deal.
COVID, so let's stop using the COVID term.
It's just a bad flu. Influenza.
It's not a COVID.
Yeah.
That is an invented term.
I think it's like an influenza too.
But it's going around.
An invented term too.
Influenza.
Yeah.
It's also invented.
Let me go back to Africa.
So, ni homa.
Homa
kwa kizungu ni influenza.
Actually, panic, like, you know, you just meeting people who have homa.
Shimano umesikia wacho kufuna kama pua. Hello.
Eh.
Juzi tu umesahau. Juzi tu ulikuwa una pua.
Nilikuwa
Kila
na homa.
mahali. Yeah, yes you.
Oh my god, I don't remember. It's not me that gave you guys, but you'll feel better. Drink a lot of hot soup, natural ingredients, you know. Dawa. And nowadays they sell dawa in the supermarket.
Is it legit though?
It is.
I think it has preservatives.
No, it is actually. Yeah, it does.
Tukona sales administrator saying aren't all terms invented. True. That's one way to look at it as well. Yeah, man. Shout out to sales administrator. What a name.
I know.
You know.
To you.
Yeah, man. But how you guys been, man?
I've been good. Can't complain. Amazing.
You're not sick.
I'm not sick. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And I just added 2 kgs, so I'm just fine.
Yo,
Come
Shmani.
on.
I know,
Shmani
right?
is too much.
You are too. By then, you made a farasi.
Well, that's kind of like a
Like
perspective wise.
But you look good. The good thing I like about you adding weight.
In the right places.
Kuna watu wana add weight alafu wanaanza kukaa tu improper fraction.
What's the most you've ever weighed?
This is the most.
Ati
Can you say it?
tunakaa 3-1. Imagine ukikaa 3-1.
For real?
Improper fraction.
Yeah, I am 80.
You look fine, Shmani.
Last week Friday.
I ain't not a shame.
You're 80.
Wow!
I'm actually 80.
Yo!
I'm big.
That's crazy.
I was walking on the streets today hapa hivi kwa macho alafu ananiambia hakuna farasi mwingine Rongai. Ni wewe tumepanda hii.
Wow! How did you do that? Is that a compliment?
The first time nilitwa farasi was uko juu in Tuskys. Na ilinisumbua. So when I went home I was like, mbona msama nita farasi? And then I just realized farasi is like big for name for big
Megan
people.
the Stallion.
Like you're like yeah. So I'm just like, okay, I know
So did you take it? Like,
no, literally, trust me. And then Omsali niambia hivi eti hakuna farasi mwingine Rongai.
Wewe tu.
Panda tu inganya farasi. I was just like siendi.
To make it official.
Thanks.
To make it official.
Don't call me farasi, child.
No, do you have the Faras
never
app?
allow anyone like.
No, I don't feel bad about it. I was just like.
No, like even in any day.
Yeah.
So not to barabara kuna kwanga to like with those people. Like we keep on talking about them. Kuna to never. I think that's one thing I've learned in kutembea kwa barabara as a woman. Like run mtoto mjinga who's gonna talk negative. Then you're gonna bump into like that one person who's gonna say something crazy and remains positive for the rest of the day.
I know,
like,
right?
And not crazy, but positive about you. But it
You
in
guys
a funny
get
way.
positive compliments?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
No, like one that jengas your day.
All the time. Every
Or
day.
is it like sexualized?
There's this kamze. You have said that. There's this kamze. I don't know if he's on Warongai, but there's a time we were with Christine. There's another time. That morning I was really, really offended. The guy who really abused me, like grabbing me. And then me and Kendall were like, hey, you really look amazing.
He told you that?
And then he smiles.
Yeah.
I'm like, he smiled for me. He's just like, thank you.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, right?
you know, I'm not gonna stand, of course, show like,
Yeah.
but thank you. You have no idea.
Yeah.
You just created my day. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
As much as I know, thank you.
Yeah. And I think we get like
It
a lot
takes
of
people, I
positive.
think, with audacity to tell a woman who looks good, unakaa poa.
But men do that, right?
They
Really?
do, but
is it audacity?
they do. It is an audacity. We have different types
Bila
of men.
any
Sexualization.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
without sexualization, exactly. Without sexualization, it takes an audacity and also respect. Just telling someone like, hey, you look really good, and like you look also maybe your dressing code is killing type of shit. Because most of the men I feel like they are scared, especially for a good-looking woman. Like you see your dressing code, I'm like, what's this Salimia? Who you like? You can just appreciate someone. Like I'm not saying from an angle of Katiana. I'm not saying from an angle of Katiana, like coming to try get my number now. Just saying you look good. Some people I feel like I've seen that. Someone looks at you, they wanna say something, but they don't know how to say it. So, and I've had most of the women explain it, and looking at it, being honest, I feel like most of the men are like just scared. Maybe they don't know the approach.
The reaction.
Yeah, the reaction of the lady.
I can see that.
Because most of the people get maybe aggressiveness. Talk about maybe they're also gonna get the number. It's different.
Personally, me akuna and I don't want to swear this. I'm just saying it. Akuna de nishaipita bila compliment.
Okay.
The entire year. Like every day, even in your worst, somebody will just say
in my
something.
worst, that's the crazy part.
Somebody will just say, they'll say, even if they'll say unakapoa, they'll just make a comment. Men will always make a comment. So one thing I've always known in my mind is that men are just sensual. So if you could, I don't take it like that. Me niko tu it's a compliment. So you'll just hear like, of course you'll meet the bad ones.
Yeah, of course. Well,
yes, you'll meet the bad ones.
Yeah.
But the bad ones are 1 in a million.
That's true.
But most of the time you'll just meet men who are just, they just want to look at your ass. They'll just say something. They'll just say, they want to look at, they say, hi, hey, unakapoa. Ama mtu tu apite. They say unakapoa kienda. And that is just sincere. You're like, umse amesema tu na hajanisumbua, hajaniomba namba, amesema tu unakapoa na kaenda. Unajua, so I believe like we get like more positive comments from men than women, because women is just sizing.
But you all don't compliment each other.
No, me I compliment.
Me too. I will.
Like a stranger. You never met this chick. You're like, hey, mama.
Yes.
Me I've even complimented. You see this school here? There used to be a watchman, kind of a young lady. Actually, she used to look fine body-wise, like, and also dark melanin. But every time we could find her up on my boy, catch you every time, because like, I'm super. Like, I kept it in myself, because like, Rambo. Like, you really look so good. I wish, like, I'm glad you're here if it makes you happy, whatever, but you really look so fine. For me, it was evil. So one day, Nika gathered to confidence in the morning. When I used to come open the office, because I used to pass there every day.
Exactly, every day.
So one day I told her, hey, but you really look good.
And she smiled.
Yeah, she said, Asante. So ever since, she was great in meeting. I don't know where she went. I've been seeing someone else.
I actually say that to like women. If they look like, I feel like also the confidence they wear. Most of the time, if I see you like dressing like weird things that I would only see confidently, I would definitely tell you look nice. Yeah. I would definitely tell a confident person with how they walk, how they dress, how they like unakapoa, and then
but I feel like I think I've experienced chicks getting compliments from chicks more than the other way.
Really?
Like I'm with a woman, a chick will come, she won't even look at me. She'll come to the shorty and be like, hey, you look junior, and I share.
Really? But do men get like compliments from women?
No.
I would never tell a man.
Unless hey,
hadi kama unakapoa na dedi. Ndio mapavu wa majo. Okay,
ladies and gentlemen,
this is
the female gender.
Okay, it depends. For me, I think it depends.
Unless tuko kwa room hivi nimekata. Tuko kwa room.
That's what I said. Unless you guys are drunk. That's the only time.
Me, I can't. Like on a road, I see a man and tell him you look good. No, unless I'm cheap, I have never. I don't know. Maybe I've said when I'm high.
The only compliments I've gotten from chicks are when they're drunk.
Yeah.
You see someone fine, then they're like, yeah.
Utamwangalia.
No, you give it to yourself, yeah.
Mimi naangaliaga.
But then also how mnaangaliaga watu wajuaji mnaangalia. Mnaangaliaga kisniper.
I know.
Unless you're close.
I know, like kama ni best yako utambea unakapoa, ama mko kwa room mshakata.
Oh my goodness. Shout out to sales administrator.
Kama tumekata sitakwambia.
Sales administrator anasema shout out to Farasi. Farasi ndani ya Farasi. To the women mnakaa poa.
Thank you.
Kama uko single side, it's because you're too attractive. Hadi watu wanakuogopa.
I get it.
When I was in campus, there was this chick. Oh my goodness, thick, smooth skin, melanin. She was always alone. And when I tell you this shorty was fine, all of us waited until tufike sijui mwaka ya mwisho. And we went to talk to her. And she was easy. And I was like, yeah, so you know, I agree with what you said. Like,
I don't know where I've had that, but I think also experience it from someone, like either from a guy friend, like utapata mse after amekujua for like, but don't know kwa nakuogopanga. Like, what was so hard for you to approach me? Like,
they actually say you give mean vibes. Listen, Nico, like, some Nico mean and me, I'm like very funny and just easy. Like it's crazy.
But everyone be kuchekeshage kila.
I know, right?
That's right.
And he's saying, or she's saying, she was an administrator. Women want free compliments, lol. If I compliment you, round up that number. Is this coming?
I don't. You should know, not me.
I don't get kaka.
I know. What in the boy?
Shout out to you, sales administrator. And I say, my wanaume only get compliments for eulogy. That's true.
Oh my God, no! But we always tell our friends.
That's different.
Yeah, but we always tell. I say, "Echaro kapoa."
Okay.
I've told you that, right? Yeah. So I feel like we tell our friends, not strangers. You see, men like
don't
men.
care.
Yeah, men tell women, even strangers. You look nice.
Personally, I compliment chicks, but I try to make it not sexual.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, hey, that hair today, or like, hey, those shoes, those.
What is it? The shoes really?
No, basically, because many bambas and bambas.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Okay.
then me, I'm a sucker for hair. If I see you with nice hair, I'm like, hey, mama, you shout out to your salonist, man. Can't even share.
Okay.
Yeah, anasema mimi kitu naogopa solo ni dry spell. Okay.
Oh my God.
Dry spell na kunyonga.
Oh my God.
Shout out to you, sales administrator. You know.
Yeah.
But Shibani, what's today's topic?
This topic is consent age.
It's a very sensitive one.
It is very sensitive because this is a conversation that has been actually happening and going around, and it could actually happen in Iraq where they're trying to reduce the consent age from 18 to 9. And Joby was actually making me understand that they're also doing that in Nigeria.
I think it's Nigeria. There's a time on a show, shout out to Kamlesh, we did a show checking just the age consent of African countries. Then we kind of figured out why Nigeria is the most populated country.
Oh shit.
And then why South Africa has the highest rate of HIV and AIDS.
Okay.
Literally. So I don't know if, because I remember the last time again I checked, things had changed. But I believe if you go into real details, a lot of things are happening. And without the, I feel like,
oh my God! So apparently Cape Verde is 14.
It was 13 actually.
Nigeria is 11.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What the hell?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question.
Yes.
Do you feel like this applies if like the chick is 11 and the guy is 11?
No.
Or the chick is 11 and any 60-year-old?
Any. It's like if you go and like a man who is dating 18-year-old girl and is like 70, he won't be arrested because she's of consent. So it's like if it is of consent, any man.
But before we get into the countries, I feel like we should understand in today's generation, like realistically.
Yes.
At
What would be
at what age are teenagers, children understanding actually sex? Because there's a time actually, I think it was last week on Tuesday, I was talking about teenage pregnancies. I talked about teenage pregnancies, which is happening, of course. We talked about incest, which we saw, of course, which is increasing so many things as well. But if you look at all this, sex education, of course, being number one key, should play part in this. And then at what age are children understanding sex, even before sex education? Like mutoi anajua, because I remember there's a time HR asked me,
Usiogope.
No, Siogope. He asked me what was the first time I saw an image of pornography.
How old were you?
I was in class 4.
Damn, that's like 10 years.
Well, you're not. In the phone.
I'll give to
No.
no. It was not on fun.
Yeah.
Like literally porn.
Not seeing it performing, but an image of naked. Yeah.
Like a chick or a guy or a chick and a guy.
I think maybe like adult. Like
No way.
no, I feel like yangu, I don't remember, but mimi ku actually know that sex exists ilikuja. Tuko tunaita tabia mbaya.
Of course.
Tabia mbaya. So that we knew in primary. Like as kids, we knew this is bad manners. So it comes at a but missing like porn, I guess maybe in 14, 13.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
Still young.
you're still a kid.
I feel like that is like maybe class 8.
Still young.
For me, it was class 6. I remember vividly. Shout out to the legends on
Yeah,
Akumbuka
not
website
5.
in
Yeah, for me 5,
Wapchi.
4. 5, 4.
And me, I've come across some kids who are like 8, 7 years old and they even know how to navigate. Kwa simu ya mzazi anaenda anawasha ile, what's it called? The new tab that yenye ukicancel imetoa history.
For real?
Hey! Well, and they know the sites, they go, they search.
Oh my god.
7, 8-year-old kids, man. So again, what Joby is saying, what should be the right to update?
At what age are children in this generation today? We're not even talking about our older generation. At what age are today's kids exposed to sex? Like you can see from us, still it was a very very early age.
Yeah.
Yeah, by now it's worse.
That and
Right now it's worse.
so at what age? Because right now we're talking
and
about
I think like exposure,
internet. Children have tablets.
Wi-Fi kwa nyumba.
There's
Kuna simu ya
animations
watoto.
is full of crazy things
I
we
know,
barely understand.
Exactly. I feel like the exposure
do.
is there, but now the content is always a problem. And I feel like sex education will take like a very huge factor in that, because now if we talk about exposure, reproductive system wanafunza class 5, right?
6.
Class 5, class 6, right? So this is somebody who is like 10, right? So this person already knows they have TVs, no man is supposed to touch and get pregnant, because that is what we knew, right? Right now, not even on the reproductive, we have internet, we have cartoons, they're kissing. Na unasikia watoto hata baba na mama kikisa nafunga macho. Na ni mtoi ako like 1, ajishi ako like 2 ndiye ameanza kuongea kana anajua ni tabia mbaya. Unajua? And because they see it on social media. So I do believe the exposure is they're already exposed naturally on that, and internet is a very big perspective.
So
but when it comes to consent, I feel like sexual education is supposed to be taught in a lot of perspective. Like for example,
That's true.
I remember as we had sex education every afternoon in high school for 30 minutes. After lunch, we go for sex education. There were teachers who would come for 30 minutes. So after lunch, sikuna 1:30 to 2. Lessons in answer 2. So 1:30 to 2, we had like sex education.
Okay.
And that came in high school. But now that
you feel like it was handy or effective?
I feel like it was really effective, mostly because now people are in adolescence and they're very active, they're very capable of being pregnant at a younger age. So if they're not taught these things early, I feel like the ones they do in primary is kind of less. But now when you're mature, when you're getting to that adolescent where you don't know a lot and you're just like wondering what is really happening to me, you go try and have sex because there's a man who'd always lure you. So I believe it's supposed to come like at an early stage, number one. And it's supposed to, because there are schools that never did it. There are parents that never have this education or this conversation with their kids. I am from that type of family. Never taught. In my family, I think up to today, literally in my life, never. Like my mom has never, if she has seen me with a man, he's been hiding. Like literally, I'm from that type of family where we never had those conversations with my parents. Like kuna time I used to hide, instead of my mom going to ask me directly, alinena na mtu tukipita, She asked my sister, and I live with her. I'm like, why don't you just come? Let's have this conversation. So that's their families.
So
there are those families that never have that, and I believe a lot of parents should actually take in that and make it normal. It's okay to actually have these body parts.
Yes.
Men will want you, but be open about it. Create that environment, because if you don't create that environment, what is happening na ball. And then the age of consent, I feel like it's supposed to be like when somebody is mature. Like for me, I feel like at adolescent mtu bado ni mature, ajui kitu. I do believe so. I do believe the mindset, and I do have to have sex. Personally, I broke my virginity at 20. And I was like in high school, everybody knew I'd had sex. And I didn't. I didn't even know how to. But because you guys have already judged me, let me go with it. Right? Even in school, they say, oh, you're a bad girl. Oh, and I'm like, I've never. I couldn't. And I was. It's crazy. And my sister is the one who would understand. So if anybody would come and say, oh, sister Connie, bad girl. Oh, sister Fanini, she would ask, like, who are these people that she slept with? Can you name any? And you get that, because I'm like, okay, people are having sex, but do they really know what sex is about? Even in campus, my personal experience, I didn't know things about energy.
It was just sex.
Yeah, it was just sex. But when you become mature, you understand what sex is. I feel I started understanding sex.
It's a journey.
I think I started understanding what sex and the realness of sex probably nikimaliza kampo.
Yeah, as an adult.
As an adult. Because it was just wilding, having sex, just fun, no parents, just date, freedom.
Yeah.
So I believe when somebody is mature enough to understand, for me I believe that is consent. But the education is supposed to really come at an early stage.
I agree.
Yeah,
those are strong points from Fanny. I agree, especially that sex education thing. There's a lot of stigma and ignorance around sex, especially in families.
Yeah.
I feel like Joby, you were about to interject on your experience. Sex education at home.
Yeah, for me, I remember, of course, I've grown up. I grew up with my mom first, of course, recognizing myself, starting my periods and all that. I remember before starting my periods, she mentioned, because even after still learning in school, all that, at this age, of course, expect these body changes, if you see boobs. I remember boobs in a cousin and it was just crazy.
I know, right?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember when before starting my periods, my mom had mentioned, expect this. If you feel this kind of pain, expect this. If you see something like this on your underwear, this is what has started.
If you don't mind me asking, at what age were you at that point when that conversation was being had?
Class 5.
Oh, okay. That's early.
5, 6. Yeah, she just started because me loved chilling also with two boys too. Never with the girls, like my boys too tapa ya mabriki cho tapa ya used to have a friend called the not napotea too, like we just going, like just disappear. So I remember my period started and I was really shocked that morning. I wake up, I'm like bloody, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I remember what she told me, but I'm scared to tell her too, because I'm like, God damn, this is what?
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna be.
But you already had a picture of what was happening. You knew
yeah,
what periods are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, tumefunzwa shule, because I think there's a class 7 hapo, 6, 7, nikelekea 7. So to have some reproduction, all that, the body changes, puberty, that is class 6. So my period starts, I told her, and then she was like, calm down. This is how she taught me how to do, literally, how to put on the pad, which is also, I think, something also girls majority of the times don't experience from like most of the girls don't learn from their parents. It's either from from school or your friend, just someone, not literally your parents. So from there she told me, if you mess up, you get pregnant. If you ever have sex, that's what she told me. If you ever have sex, you get pregnant. if you allow people to touch your boobs, they're gonna become big.
Hey yo, what?
So I never allowed anyone to touch my boobs because I know they're gonna become big. I don't have big boobs. And then I never allowed anyone. I never had sex till mine. I broke at turning 18. Turning 17 actually, because that's the time she was really sick. Like I said, that's the time I lost my virginity, literally. So turning 17, yeah.
Okay.
But from henceforth, like I'd say, I was really early prepared for what to expect as a girl, as a lady growing up. If I mess up, this and this is what to expect.
When personally you were like breaking your virginity, did you really know what like? Or you were just like, I'm having sex.
Mentally,
did you really know like this is sex? This is what like the knowledge about it.
No. Of course, no. I don't want to say. I don't think there's anyone. Maybe today's generation, for those who really get to tap into the information early, I'd say.
Yeah.
And if you're still a virgin, you're not gonna just tap into every energy.
Yeah.
I believe so. You're gonna protect yourself. Find someone who's worthy your energy and all that. I believe at the beginning of the breaking of the virginity jury, of course, the sex, the exchange of energy, how important it is.
You don't have the knowledge, literally. Yeah.
What else? You shouldn't be sleeping around after that. Like a couple of things. You don't know that. So, but I'd say for me, because once I joined Form 1, again, sex education also was a thing I'd learned from friends. I had experienced friends. Shout out to them.
Hey.
I met them literally recently again. We went home and I was like, man, I learned a lot from this chilled about sex, literally. So I used to hear.
Were they older than you?
Yeah, I'd say they were older than me. Because I remember they used to speak about how sex is good, I'm like, man, I used to walk out of the conversation because we go like, man, this is so nasty. You're all nasty.
Yeah.
Because Form 1, 2, I'll talk on experience. Now Form 2, I shall ball, banana. Like, it's serious like that. So for me, I was like, nah. But with that information, like from friends, and then now me myself being told the pain of breaking virginity, then I was like mentally ready. I'm like,
to understand.
Today's the day.
But I feel like for girls, especially past 18, most girls lose their virginities off of pressure.
I don't want to say it was really pressure from friends. We are from friends.
Yeah, like even inbuilt internal way, you're like, damn, you should have 18. Let me just get it over with.
Because me at that time, mademu wali drop out, by the way, wakapata waliolewa, wako na watoto, sasa wako na familia. Shout out to them, but I was like, nah, me I don't want this.
Money, you wouldn't say your experience was off some kind of pressure.
First and foremost, just to add on what Joby said, on maybe nilianza periods very late. I didn't have boobs, I didn't have anything till Form 3.
What?
I was just like,
you know, enough to glow up.
I just came after one semester and I have boobs, I'm big, and because my mom used to put for me pads and I used to go and sell in school. Because I was not even like, because nimefika Form 1, Form 2, but just jaona periods. But naekewagwa tu in every shopping she'd put like 3 or whatever. So I used to be like, sinikuzie nauzia watu till I think because sikufunzwa. I don't remember nilikuwa tuna roommate wako ndio ule ananyesha simko kwa cube unaona venye naikanga pad so yako venye ilikam unajiekea tu kenye uliona like I didn't have that education with my folks or anything. The next time when I went niliokota pads mingi and then she just knew I knew. I don't think we had that I don't remember us having maybe, but I don't remember. It would be vivid. I don't remember us having. I think I just learned it from my roommates. Yeah. But talking about also the pressure in sex, I really, cause I told you my experience personally. Nilikuwa na watu walikuwa ndani had sex, and I played that character. Really, I really just went along with it. But all my friends walikuwa naweza wamebreakiwa virginity, so they would just talk about it. And I would join in and make just fake news. Fake news, like naingia tu na stories za jaba naendelea na wao venye iko. I didn't tell anybody I actually brought my sister only. So I feel like because it took time for me hadi after Form 4 first year. Because I was dating the same guy.
Okay.
Now, so I felt like also I don't know.
Was the guy pressuring you? Especially after you
I think we were just 18. Making out. I
someone who pressures you something.
Not bad. Really. Alikuwa tuna make 2 out and anishikashika maboobs alafu nakata. alafu like tuna make two out ikifika hiyo point like hajaribu kupeleka mamkono.
Funny, do you know what blue balls are?
I don't know. I don't know shit.
God.
This is
I
me.
think the most I could do is kiss.
No, this is me.
The most.
This is me as a
like,
virgin.
I'm blushing as F. I'm gonna think about that kiss the whole
For
night.
real.
Like,
no, the kiss comes first. The first kiss you never
we
feel.
don't touch my
know,
boobs because they're gonna be big.
like making out, I think we just make out and ikifika your point because I now kissed before I knew kissing. So it's like okay, tuteremshe mamikono. Ikifika hapa kwa paja, nakata. For almost 1 year plus.
So I'm saying this guy never anytime was
I feel like sasa your point ya sasa kuniingiza box.
So he was
trying to ingiza box nakata. He was trying to ingiza box nakata. I think when I just went to see him I knew what was going to happen. Because I just traveled. I was ready. I was like on 20. I was just like, najua nikienda this time. It's gonna happen. And it just happened. But it had taken time. I knew in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Man, for guys I don't think tunakuaga na watu kutukalisha watu ongelesha.
Conversations.
I remember learning it from my friends tukicheza. And I was I think 10 years old in class 4. I remember even playing with CDs. I did to Mejivalisha.
That's not boobs,
you know?
Yeah.
So learning from my friends, tukicheza, and then I went home. I was 10 years old and I told my mom, I can vividly see her akikunja nguo. Like, Mom, watu wakubwa wakifanya tabia mbaya inaitwa sex. And I could see her face. She was like, sasa nitaanza wapi?
Wallahi.
She was like, umesikia wapi? Kwa kina Yano.
Usitembe na wao.
Alisema acha dada kama. Mzee hakunishow kitu basi. Hiyo story ilisha hivyo.
Wallahi.
And me, all I've learned is from the internet and personal experience.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I was just having a conversation with my friends. Na ananiambia most of them for guys because he's a guy. Ananiambia he lost through the maid.
Oh yeah.
But na alikuwa siji class 5.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was in primary.
That is a do.
Yeah, it's literally so the mom actually didn't know. The mom thought the boy is small, right? Ni kijana mdogo. Na maid alikuwa tu sema maybe ako maybe 18 17. She was like already anajua kile kinafanyika. Sasa akamwambia ndio lale na ye. Sima daka nadhani kijana ni mdogo in his mind.
Akamwambia kijokes.
Sio kwamba utalala na auntie.
Oh, same room.
Same bed. She didn't think. Class 5 or class 4, I don't know.
That is a big boy.
No,
class 5.
That's crazy.
Not a big boy, big boy. As in a boy who deserves to, be in his bed.
But if you don't have that perspective about class 5,
let me tell you something I haven't.
Maybe I'll try my trust me. I don't know.
I haven't talked about this for 20 years. When I was a kid.
Yeah.
A kid. I think I was like 3-4 years old. In Wanaumbot. And when my parents used to go to work, she would come, bring me to her room until ilikuwa genda count. So we would lie on the bed. So she lies facing miguu, ukilala miguu za mali ziko. And me I lie facing the head of the bed. And she would take my hand. At the time, Missy doing it happen. I just hear something warm, something squishy.
That's how they do it.
And then she would tell me now count with my fingers.
Oh my God.
And then now give me a count. Tunakauta so. So like 1, 2.
That's a pedophile.
I didn't know.
Exactly. They always do that because they always, it's crazy. That's how men.
I hope even my folks don't see this because they don't know.
Yeah, because even the friend I was telling me, sasa alienda kalala na Mbot. Singi wa sana lala. Yo de akilala. Mbot akamdirect to. You didn't know. Akamwambia mimi sikupata. Mbot akamwambia check, akamwambia wakishaanza kulala keka mkono. Akamwambia shika hivi. Akamwambia hivi ndio nafanya and he erected. And that's how and then he didn't say it.
Of course.
Akwambia mtu, imagine and he used to come like every lunch. Kama mzazi yuko, Mbocha anamfanyia hivyo. Hivyo. Alafu siku moja akakuja akapata Mbocha amefukuzwa lilia.
Love of his life.
Alipata heartbreak yake.
His first heartbreak.
Yeah, and I was asking, why didn't you tell anybody? Akaniambia,
see, he enjoyed it.
Because alikuwa like, yeah, for him, I don't know.
No, you know,
for women it's like really if they for me, that's why I think I've always asked you that. Why is it that ukipata boy ameshika mtoto wako msichana?
Aye, that's
na maboya wasemaje?
Cause one,
why?
To enjoy.
Okay.
Two, our sexual brain develops mapema kuwashinda. Because that's why you'll find boys know porn like at TV. So you know porn, you've seen sex, you've never done it.
Exactly.
So hata Job anasema unambao tu kutoka tumembao.
Na membao.
You don't know what?
Alafu mbocha akaambia unaika hivi. Na hivyo ndio alikuwa anamfanyia kila siku.
That's crazy.
And that's how he lost his virginity. And he's never told anybody.
I think I'm not sure if I've said it here before, but
and that's how men actually do it. They lose it. It's crazy because mboches wanna and the women mboches go wanaendanga scot free na shit. I've never
talked about.
Psychopathic. When you try and say like you're counting.
Bro, I was 3 years. Hata sijui kuongea vizuri.
Like
but nakumbuka vividly ni game ya count.
I don't know how.
Na uko aisema mbona?
I don't know. I think I knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
In my mind.
But ukusema.
Sikuwa up to date.
You see, I don't know, because for women it's actually a big deal. But for men, it's actually, I don't know.
I think my mama alikuwa mjanja toka niingie class 5. Mambocho alikuwa tu wa mama wazee.
Walai. Yeah.
I'll go to let her show.
I feel like also after
I'm having a kid, I have to be there to take
care of then after that, I think she just knew from then. She just brought like old watches. I think when she started seeing, wanakuwa sasa
close.
Vijana wakubwa. Sasa huyu amekuwa kijana mkubwa, acha nianze kuleta.
Mama, it was too late.
I know it was too late. And you can never know kama alifanyia mtu hivi amefanyia watu wangapi wenye amefanyia kazi.
That lady.
Yeah,
that girl.
It's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
But what is consent? Because if you look at this, it's a kid.
So yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask in the beginning, which is, can we give, as like what Joby was saying in today's society, can we give consent to age mates?
No.
Where it's like, because you know, in some countries, when you're a 16-year-old guy, you're found with a 15-year-old girl, you're locked up. Should we allow that to happen because they're age mates, but to Qatar and it's 16-year-old girl, 30-year-old man, you Qatari? Should there be a difference when people are like 13, or 13 is too young?
No, I disagree. I disagree. I feel like
because either way, it still happens.
Yeah, it still happens, but you know it's not consensual. It is consensual from the kid, from the two. After the 30-year-old, see it rape the 60. Some 16-year-old are mature enough and na date mbaba na anaenda na yeye and have sex, you know. So I still don't believe in age. I still stand in for sexual education, and I feel like the consent age in Kenya, I feel like after Form 4, mtu ameshakuwa at least mature. So for me, I feel like the age that we have, because ukiangalia Form 4 person, mtu ako like 18, 19. So for me, I feel like that somebody is at least knowledgeable, anajua periods, amekana madem 4 years, anaona wako na mimba, wenye wamedrop, anajua consequences, anajua kila kitu vizuri. Unajua? So for me, I believe for Kenya, I think 18, 19 for me, I feel like iko hivyo. Hata kama itakuwa like they know more about it, but if you have like sexual education where we open up at an early age, I feel like a lot of people will save a lot of getting just energies and everything that just have to be like having sex with everybody.
Joby?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the teaching should be spiritual, number one. Not just a teaching. Like you have to understand what energy is again. Because remember to sex energy like ni nguvu tuna exchange yana ule na perform the best.
I know.
Ule mnaenda sana. No. It has to come from the spiritual point. I disagree. I myself can't
what?
I can't like the age mates like nah.
ikubalike.
No.
So if kijana form 2 apatwa na msichana form 2 aikwenda,
it's still illegal.
It should be a punishment for both of you.
For both.
Okay.
Especially if we have sex education on board, and then if you're found doing that, I feel like it should be a punishment. You should have a juvenile.
Because we agree it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah, it is happening.
It is, but most of the cases we hear ni mtu mkubwa. But also nimeona age mates. And it is unfair. I feel like it's unfair for the boy child. Mostly if they're age mates. Like 16,
the boy
16.
child gets criminalized.
Yeah. Boy child anapelekwa juvie.
Yeah, alafu msichana
anaachwa. Na hata kumrape.
It was consensual.
It was because I've also heard of even parents that actually tell their girls wadanganye eti huyu alikurape, huyu alikufanyia hivi na huko umekubali. Na kila mtu mtani alikuwa anajua wana date. Boy alikuwa 19, was dating this 16-year-old girl. Everybody knew. And then at a certain point, the parents force you. You see, so men go to... So I still believe the age thing is kind of biased. For me, I feel like if it is consensual and all of them are mature enough to have sex, like najua maybe mtu high school anajua sex, she knew with the age mate. So I still don't agree with the age. Same age. And I still believe the judgment is unfair on the male side. If the woman is like upright and knows what sex is,
it's true because there's a time I remember I've spoken about this before. A video that was released by Committee Prison. Some interview that was done of men. Wakisema majority of them, they have sat down, talked to each other, and figured out actually they're there because of women. And they are innocent. They have not done anything.
Exactly.
Like, it just showed the level of, number one, lies. I don't know, lies in the community or in women. I don't know how to say it, but
you know
it's sad.
How society is built is a woman's word until proven wrong.
You can save someone though. You can save someone.
If a woman just says, hata sikumshika, my life is over.
Exactly.
Unless miraculously kesi yangu sijui kutaendaje kulikuwa na kamera. But ati hakuna substantial evidence.
And then they can clean it up by saying, because you can see somebody who was raped before 72 hours. They're tests nowadays people can do. Go and report, you wanna check if you were really raped. But if it is after 1 week and if I lie, they'll never know. I just say yes, he raped me and stuff. So they
and
just
it's your word against the system,
against
not even mine.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's like not fair. And the age. What do you suggest the age should be, Joby?
For me?
Before we go there, let's go through some of the craziest ages of consent.
Okay.
As we said, Nigeria 11.
Oh my God,
Thoughts on that?
This is why it's the most isolated in Africa.
11 nilikuwa class 5. Sasa nilikuwa najua nini?
Man, and you know they're Muslims, so most of them are Muslims. So Muslim people also practice early marriages.
That's true.
Yeah, most of the Nigerian population is Muslim.
But still, that is the whole country.
Exactly.
So we have Christians also among them.
Yes, they are.
The non-religious or whatever. But still it's 11.
Yeah.
Philippines and Angola is 12. Man looking class 6.
Man.
Wewe unaweza onekana.
Babangu angemad. Oh my God, I know you'd get a gun penye nilikuwa najua ko nayo.
But I feel like if you look at a country like Nigeria again, despite the age consent being 11, there are families who know better. Their families who have raised their families have raised their children knowing this is wrong. You know, this is molestation. This is actually sexual assault to a child. This is rape. Because in such cases, you find, let's say, I want to give an example in the northern parts of Kenya, or maybe majority of the countries in Africa. Right? A girl is gonna be sold off at a young age because of dowry. Poverty is majority of the leading case of the early marriages that we know. But in this is something you can actually save. You know, it's just, I don't want to say it's a law. I don't know if it's a law too. It is a law, right?
Yeah, because its consent is allowed.
Yeah.
It's a law.
So this is a law that actually can be changed, because if you are in the right mind, you need to understand this is wrong. 11 is when your body actually, you don't even know nothing about your body. Your body is making changes. You also wonder, why do I have pimples on my face? Why do I have why are my boobs painful? Why am I feeling the back pain? Like, you know, why are my cramps painful?
Exactly.
Why, you know, as a man, why am I wet dreaming?
Yeah.
Wet dreaming.
Happens.
Your voice is breaking.
Your voice breaks.
Soprano, ikirudi soprano.
And you know, I feel like the consent age, it's really unfair for women mostly. Because it's the women
actually
that,
just the women.
It's the women, because listen,
yeah.
the man, utaisikia mwanaume alioa at 12. Utaisikia, but utasikia mwanaume wa 30 alioa mtoto mwenye ako 9.
Because it's allowed.
Because it's allowed. So I feel like the consent
Mzee wa
age,
65.
I feel like the consent age is really unfair for the female gender, number one, because in most cases that happens. And mtu mwenye ako like 9, 12, this is a kid. This is somebody who is not mature. This is somebody who doesn't even know what is happening. This is somebody you can't even have a conversation with. Ni mtoto tambia ndio ulete mandazi ya 10. Like literally wezi mtuka huyo naoa aje. And then you're telling me because she's an adolescent apate mimi at 13. Hata anajua nini juu ya mtoto. So it's a kid raising a kid, and then mtoto wake atafika 13 haraka atazaa tena. Na ni hivyo na hivyo, and then the population grows, and then it's poverty, and then I feel like also exposure is important.
True.
When you look at countries like Nigeria, and this is why I actually don't agree with this is something I don't agree with religion. Because when you see Muslims, I used to have friends in and this is campus. I was Nikona Ophelia Vibaya. One of my closest friends was Rendile. And she was smart. I always acknowledge about this. Nakumbuka nilikuwa naandikanga mocks lakini yeye ndo anakopi. Kila siku alikuwa tu sharp, you know. Then she was beautiful. And then the worst thing, she didn't like those type of men. Warrior. She liked like Wajaka or Kisi, like just normal people, right? So imagine tunafika, she had like a closer friend. Yeah, alikuwa mjanja kidogo. She had like a closer friend. Imagine tuko second year, tumeenda holiday. Ude marusi yake imefanyika. Anarudi next semester, ameolewa.
What? It's done.
And then I asked like sasa huyu aliolewa aje and stuff like. Akambia huyu bwanake alikuwa shambook kitambo. So they are booked like even as kids. Huyu hata some akishafika hapa hata maybe by the time unafika high school ushabukiwa bwanako ndiye anaanza kulipia. Wewe ni wako alishakubook like. So when you get at this hadi wana decide it's like you're a material, you're not a human being. You're a thing.
I lost a friend at class 6.
To marry?
Imagine.
What tribe?
Nani wa Argis, ndio?
I can't remember, but she was Muslim.
I knew it. Wana kwanga waoria.
At class I was so hard. I was like, man.
So one thing that is not talked about, which needs to, is how men as a gender think we can control
the concept.
A woman's
sexuality, exactly, in every way, even when it becomes to like orgasm.
And which is why which is why kuna vitu kama FGM.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know, in the human anatomy, the clitoris is the only organ whose sole purpose is sexual pleasure. Huko kwingine inakuwaga na functions zingine. But men feel like we have to control a woman's body, a woman's consent, a woman's orgasm, a woman's choices, atavaaje, ataongeaje.
Exactly.
And it's nuts. It's sickening, to be honest. It really is. Sales administrator anasema before 6 p.m. balozi beer at Quickmart ni 99. We
unanunua
99 bo
99. Oh my god, wangeka saja.
Usijitishe mashida zenye ujitaki. Mashida zenye ujitaki.
Labda ni mse wa Quickmart hapa.
Nashanga.
Labda ni mse wa Quickmart.
Sales administrator.
Ati wanaume wana control orgasms za madem. Yeah, but not in the way unafikiria. Ni yani unaona dem a girl does not deserve orgasms. Wewe unaingia ukimaliza
umeenda. Like there's no satisfaction. And I feel like these are things that men need to be taught. Because when you look at consent, I feel like consent is majorly on the men. Because women are just seen as objects. And it's so sad. That is a perspective that has to change.
Playthings.
It has to change from kita. We need to teach, because you find also, and I feel like this the generation ya kitambo ndio ilikuwa affected with that, because I also remember in Kampo kulikuwa na Muslims when walikuwa nursing. Wanapenda sana medicine. They're always in nursing and stuff like that. And ulikuwa unaenda nursing, unapata tu, and then you know they're like faculties and then there are hostels. So kulikuwa na hostel tu ya madaktari wenye wanafanya health medicine. So hapo utapata Waislamu wengi. And you're like, oh, kwani Waislamu wengi wanafanya nursing? So that got me thinking. Most of their women never used to even be allowed to go to school.
Yes.
Most were not given opportunities, and I feel like right now things are changing. You hear wanaenda the university, things that were never there. Walikuwa nazaliwa class 6 ameolewa. Class 4 ashabukiwa, hata class 2 amebukiwa, yata grow up akifika 13 gone. Unajua na kwa yani the race to be white.
Ingine kuna older women who went through the same.
Wana mwingi and they teach you. Exactly. So you see, I still believe like right now the generation is changing. A lot of now people who have actually had opportunities, schools. I feel like the new the younger parents when watakuwa maybe when hadi wako mbele yetu wanapeleka watoto wao shule, wanawapea better opportunity. So that is actually really something that is changing. But it's only in places where you have to be like open-minded. If you look at population kama Nigeria, hawajenda chuo. Like wanafikanga, I've had conversations with this man. Niko like, mbona nyinyi wa Yahoo boys too? Something good, and they are like, check, isi tunafikanga class 7, una drop, unaona kuna kazi utaifanya. Unasema acha niende. Ukifika 14, brother yako maybe ako UK, anakwambia pull up. Anakwambia pull up. Unakuja unaanza hiyo kazi. You make money at a younger age. So that's the better life they know. They know not they, and there are some that have actually studied. So those ones are the ones that, but most of them they're used to that life. So they will never know better. Cause that job ya dina do. Kama we ni fala we ni fa. When you father. So always and they're very arrogant and ignorant. Okay, jaribu kwambia this is how it's done. Hata na hiyo milioni gani. Hata kama uko na nini hata isikia. They don't know any better. So I feel like exposure is really amazing. Going to school. Sometimes we always say school at okay, the educational system is
but it opens you up.
But it opens up a lot. You meet a lot of cultures, you interact with people.
Not just mathematical formulas.
You learn how to live with people. I believe school also helps. The environment, the discipline around it, in a create. Unajua. So if you have that, and this younger generation have it, I feel like the society in a change. With the new generation. But wazee, when unajua to enda shule, fanya hivi, olewa, kishafika, I feel like that is the pressure that also a lot of people have. Mostly when you're mereziwa na wazazi wetu. Because me, my mom is old school. My folks are old school. My previous ones are even way worse. But when I look at my elder sisters, naona, this is a change of generation. Unaweza tell a difference of generation. And when I look at even me and my older sister, I can tell this is another change of generation. When I look at my brother, I can tell this is another change of a new generation. So with generations and generation, I feel like the younger millennials wanna know what is happening. Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy, man. I feel like we have gone through a bunch of loopholes, but what you've really emphasized is exposure. You've emphasized sexual education, and you've emphasized that women are the ones who are victims of this. Now, in today's day and age, what would you say should be done differently? Because as Joby said, we're living in different times. Right now, if like some of us, we found porn to Shanae for Sembose Generation Alpha, what should be done different? Because again, you might teach sexual education at home, but akitoka tu kwa mlango yako, you know.
Be present. Be a very present parent in your kid's life. Be very conscious. I feel like saizi tunaweza sema I'm independent, I work. You don't even have time for your parents. I was saying it's funny. For example, if I give birth, I'm Luo, right? I'll go. Mboch wangu ni Mkale. I'm working, right? I'm always outside. Mtoto wangu anajua first language yake itakuwa nini? Challenging. Literally, because parents are not there to actually even be present in their kids' life. I've seen kids who actually have the first languages of their houses or auntie, people around them. Ujia di mtoto wako unamshika hivi anasema wewe si mama yake. Amezea mboch. So So be a very present kid, a very intentional parent from a younger age. By the time you start saying, I feel like, even from the story I was telling you about my friend who's a parent, I feel like parent wake anaweza dhani eti, oh, he's not mature enough.
Mtoto.
Bado ni mtoto, unajua. But when you're present, you'll definitely know who si mtoto. Unajua. Be very cautious with your kids. Be present in every step of your kids' life. Teach your kids. Be very open-minded with your kids. Those are stuff that personally miss Kupata, and that really, that is something I'm gonna change. Create that environment where you and your kids can have this type of open conversations.
That's true.
And I think that is something I've heard from Keith, because he was saying, my daughter, I tell her everything and this and this and that and that.
That's
Joby has also explained how a mom sat down and had these conversations with her.
Way before.
You see, some people never had. Some people are from these conservative families. So I feel like that is supposed to change. That is something that is supposed to change. Number 2, very intentional. Number 2, conversations, open-minded. And still, however much HR you're saying education atatoka, I feel like if you really impact it, because I always say ukisikianga kitu sana inaingia labda nitasikia siku ya kwanza nitasiu ama for example nikiona hii blackout fire nione hapa siku ya kwanza sitakumbuka nione pale itastick nasema nimeona hiki kitu pahali. So the moment you hear it more and more, I believe hata kama unini utakuwa conscious because it will ring into your mind. So I believe it will be still impactful both at home and still at school at very early ages. The moment you teach kids about their reproductive organ, kindly teach them the impact of sex, the STDs. Teach them everything. Usingoje mpaka ko form 3 ndio anajua gonorrhea ni nini.
You know?
Ati nilijua tu hapa hii ni vagina lakini sikujua. Sikujua iti kuna STDs. So I feel like those are kuna biology but pia kuna sex education which is supposed to come
in its own separate
form.
Gender studies
at a very early age. By the time unaanza tu mtoto ndio reproductive class 6 uli mtoto mweneza shika mimba akwa dole anza kumfunzia hapo the impact. So those ones for me 3 major, and then the law definitely supposed to be really strong on these people. The law is supposed to be I think the people think above the law, so they can always bribe their way up. We are rape, because I've also heard when you rape wakabai kesi kafungwa na some mtoto aliba wengi sana sindio. A lot of them, this has happened. So I still believe the law is supposed to be like really strict on these people, very very strict. Kama unafaa ushikwe kwa jela, know about this so that you be cautious na ufundishwe mapema kama mwanaume. And men be taught how to handle women. That from an early age. I was looking at this podcast Nigeria versus Kenya. So I don't know if you guys have heard it. Is it Cruiser? There were Nigerian men and Kenyan men. And there's a woman who sits and then a son. What do you think about this? So this Nigerian man was saying they don't ask why they're that with their women, not sexually, but they're masculine. They know how to treat women. They become gentle and stuff. It's because they're taught with their folks at younger ages. And I'm even gonna handle them, even though them anafaa kuwe. Hata wakipunish, ukiona kwenye babaka ana punish them na venye anakupunish. Different. Anakufunza, anakuambia hivi ndio inafaa kuwe. So it's something they grow up knowing from an early age. And this is something that is not done mostly in Kenyan society. So you find there's big differences in culture. It's not supposed to be like that. It's a conversation that men are supposed to be taught. And even women on sex education. I think those are my major focus.
That's what's up. Bonge la closing remark. J.O.B.Y.
For me, I'd say we should go back to our old ways of parenting. I think Shmani has said literally everything, so I don't want to repeat. But I'd say let's go back to our old ways of parenting. When parents were actually present, not giving tablets, phones, and keeping children on the internet, making them distracted as you do your goddamn TikToks, begging people for gifts. No, not type of shit. So you're supposed to be actually having time. I know there's those days, of course, you're busy and all that, but try to be present. You know, go to the park with your kids, connect with them, try understand how they're doing at school, what problems are they facing, because this is actually why you find even children they're okay with that, because you know, even asking how they're doing at school. You know, a teacher is touching them appropriate to a fellow student. Because I remember my mom, because of talking to me actually openly about sex, for me, I understood. We had a lesbian at class 5.
Did she know she was just experiencing?
I don't know, man, but that's when I knew actually lesbian.
What a lesbian is.
Yeah, because she told me, I want to touch your boobs. And I said no. She said, I want to touch your boobs. So I said no, and she took a big, you know the big yellow biro, right? Yeah. The way how sharp it is. Pow on my thigh. I was bleeding as crazy. Alini tabivi. So it was, I screamed. So she was expelled from school, told my mom. It was just so crazy. So from that, like, because Nico had the right to say no, don't touch me. Because my mom was open to talk to me about anything. So let's go back to our old ways of parenting. Be present in your kids, have time for your kids, connect with your children. Like, be a better parent.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I would also echo to say that to the men out there, take notes. Women are delicate flowers who are very strong, but also not
very fragile.
Not toys or things that you can use and leave and dispose. You know? Yeah, man. Shout out to General Mosquito checking in late as we're winding up. Shout out to you. Sales administrator, lazima nisomee comment. Amesema she is Luo, so you know what to say about Luo girls. Wakona ...
Farasi mwenyewe.
I'll see you.
I also see sales administrator anasema the law should be at the forefront. Definitely, I agree with that. Anasema wazee wako na exit door hata kura wanyang'anywe. Anasema tena watu wasome ndio sisi wote tukue broke graduates.
Story for another
day. But it's also important, like, it's not about what you learn, it's about also the experience that it sharpens you. Yeah.
True, man. Shout out to Jerome Mosquito and everyone else in the chat. Shout out to people at TikTok. Catch us every Tuesday, every Thursday, same place. And before we wind up, if your man has a problem, you go to the Blackwood Fire website. And where do you go, Shima?
You go to, of course, the show page, for the first section of the show page part. No, the sports store. The store section.
Yes.
On the store section, kuna BHFN sports store. That is where you get a lot of healthy supplements, vitamins, naturals, and definitely beauty supplements for your loved ones, for yourself, for your side chick, for your mom, and everybody you love.
You know?
Yeah, and even those who you hate.
Yeah.
Give them some alpha energy and tell them,
get
your attitude right.
Don't get your wife, husband, Equatorial Guinea. Get yourself some honey goat weed, energy strip. You know, don't let your wife and side chick know you're cheating them. Get them the same smelling shea butter.
Or some cucumber soap.
Yeah.
Nasema si nilioga hapa home.
Bana.
Hapa tu. Kuna uski.
Uski si ni sabuni yetu.
You know, and the good thing is it's very friendly prices.
Yeah.
Add it to the cart and it will be delivered to your doorstep.
Exactly, yeah.
Sir Kamlesh could not be with us today because of the COVID that is not COVID.
I know. He has like a flu.
Yeah, man. But we wish him all the best wherever he is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. Next time, Thursday, same time, same place. I'll see you.
Much love. Thank you so much.